What's up, everybody? This is Keya from the Wicked Majesty Channel on YouTube, and you are listening to the Devil's Den Podcast, the show that discusses books, poetry, movies, and facts in the genres of horror, paranormal, and true crime genres for folks who love dark, mysterious, and terrifying content. Good evening. Welcome to the Devil's Den Playground of Horror series. I am so sorry for not getting this up last Saturday. It was one of those busy weeks of life, you know. We all have them, but I do have quite an interesting topic to share with you. Tonight, I will take you back to a childhood tale that is quite well known and beloved as Sleeping Beauty, if not more so. This discussion is about a story of a girl with an evil stepmother and stepsisters that made her do all the work around the house until one day, fairy godmother helps her get out of the house, where she ends up meeting her future husband, but loses her slipper, or at least that's similar to 2 out of the 3 versions of the story that I'll be sharing with you. Yes, I am talking about Cinderella, or as the Grimm brothers called her, Ashbuttle, or as Basile called her, Zizola. Now, I'm not going to make this episode extremely long because there is a lot of things to mention here, so I have decided to put this into 2 or possibly 3 parts. I haven't decided, but there will definitely be a part 2 to this, so be sure to stay tuned for the second part of this discussion of Cinderella next Saturday. So let's start from the beginning, shall we? In all 3 stories, there's a stepmother and stepsisters. In the Disney and Grimm brothers version, there are 2 stepsisters and 1 stepmother, whereas in Giambattista Basile's cat Cinderella, there are 6 stepsisters and 2 stepmothers. Also in the Grimm brothers and Basile's version, the father was still very much alive. In fact, in the cat Cinderella, which to remind everybody is Giambattista Basile's version, Zizola's father was a prince. The first stepmother that she had, she did not get along with, so she had a tutor by the name of Carmosina, who she really favored a lot and wanted to make her stepmother. Her tutor concocted this idea into Zizola's head about killing her own stepmother. Zizola followed through by asking her stepmother for a dress that was kept in a large chest, and then she slammed the lid on her head while she was looking in the chest. You see, at that time, Zizola really favored Carmosina. She truly wanted her to be her stepmother in all aspects. And eventually she did marry her father. Zizola persuaded her father to marry Carmosina, and at that wedding party, a dove comes to Zizola, and the bird tells Zizola that whenever she wants anything, she need only send her request to the dove of the fairies on the island of Sardinia. At first, Carmosina treated Zizola very well. When she brought in her daughters, it was not only Carmosina that acted differently toward Zinzola, but Zinzola's father started favoring Carmosina's daughters more than his own. And it was so bad so to where he had asked the girls if they wanted something back when he went to go for a certain travel. Of course, all 6 of the girls that belonged to Carmosina wanted like something materialistic like games or makeup or clothing, whereas with Zinzola, all she asked for was for him to ask the dove of the fairies to send her something. And he was so busy thinking about the 6 girls, completely forgot about his daughter. Well, thing of it is, he was not able to sail back home without getting that present to Zinzola. In fact, he wouldn't have been able to stir correctly if he didn't follow through. So that was the only reason why he was able to get that present to Zinzola, which ended up being a golden fig tree and a golden pail and a golden shovel. Go figure. Anyway, oh, and it was a golden hoe too, and a silk handkerchief. When Zinzola gets the fig tree and she plants it, then it grows into a tall tree and a fairy emerges from it. And the fairy tells Zinzola that she will have her wishes granted and will be able to leave the house without her sisters knowing about it by going to the date tree and saying, "My little date tree, my golden tree, with a golden hoe, I have hoed told thee, and so on and so forth, and I ain't going all into the specific show. Like I said, I'm not gonna read off the stories, I'm just discussing them. In Basile's story, the slipper is golden, not made out of glass, which that I'm just throwing in there because apparently Basile had a thing for some gold, y'all. I ain't saying he a gold digger. I will be stopping here. I know I only mentioned Basile's version, but I plan to go into deeper depths on all of these versions with you next Saturday. And that concludes our episode for tonight. Sleep tight. Don't let the shadows bite. Thanks again for listening to the Devil's Den Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch the latest from me, you can follow me on Instagram at Wicked Majesty and on Twitter at Wicked Majesty and also on Facebook, Wicked Majesty. Thanks again, and I will see you next time. Sleep tight and don't let the shadows fight.